Alright, so we're making an explicit video for the DLC to just address whether or not it's worth buying, whether or not it's worth the time, and whether or not it's fun. In the Sultans Ascend in Age of Empires 4. And I will say this, so I already made my Age of Empires 4 review. So I've already addressed a lot of things there. The gameplay, how fun is the game, is the experience well worth it, does it give you enough content and quality of content in return for your time and money? The answer for the base game is absolutely yes. But the answer for the DLC is absolutely yes as well. This game basically, with the DLC, gets an upgrade. It gets a facelift to your gaming experience. That much more experimentation, customization, diversification of gameplay and experience. There's so many more now enemy empires that you can play against. But there's also so many more empires that you can play as, right? It adds to the fundamental quality and value of Age of Empires 4. And now with these extra civs that you get through Sultans Ascend, there's just so much more to experiment with. There's so much more to play against. It makes the game breathes in new life. It makes the game so much more fun and exciting playing against people with Sultans Ascend DLC and you yourself playing with it. It's tons of fun, man. I love the DLC and I've experienced so much with it. And honestly, I've mained a lot of these civs from the DLC. It's not one of those DLCs drop in the water, who gives a crap. It is a DLC that, like, man, it was well worth the money. And they make a lot of changes, they make buffs, they make nerfs. For the most part, hasn't made any of the civs irrelevant. Definitely has made some of them much weaker, but overall, they're tons of fun, really well designed, great character lines for the new civs as well. And yeah, if you bought the base game and you enjoyed the base game, like without a doubt, it's almost obligatory. Buy the freaking DLC. It's roughly cheap, and especially for all the value that you're getting with this game. There's so many bad games out there right now in the gaming market. For all the value that you are getting out of this DLC, for a quality game that will pay you back for the experience that you're having with this game, oh dude, it's worth it. It's worth the money. I will say this, right? So you're getting the Byzantines, Japanese, Ayyubids, Zushi's Legacy. I should actually mention this first, by the way. You get two unique civilizations, Byzantines and Japanese. Then you get variant civilizations of existing civilizations, but they almost feel new, okay? Keep that in mind. New dynamics, new bonuses. Some things are reused, but for the most part feels very new, and it's fun, okay? And that would include Ayyubids, 1, Zushi's Legacy, Joan d'Arc, and Order of the Dragon. So those are 4 variants, with 2 being unique. So that makes overall 6, okay? Tons of fun. They add new gameplay elements, new interactions. Like for instance, Order of the Dragon is unique. It is a variant civilization, but something unique about it is that its units will cost more population size. I believe it's double, but the units have buffed up damage and health. So they're like tanks. Now there's a bunch of drawbacks about that, and I could go into that, but we won't for this video. I can say something very short though about it. One of the issues with this game is there will be a lot of overkilling just passively when units fight against each other in these massive army battles. So one of the issues you will have, right, is that you will have like 50 archers attacking 1, 2, or maybe 5 enemy infantry units. So you're going to be doing overkill damage constantly. So what's the issue? Well, that happens against normal civilizations already. Well, if you're overkilling a huge amount of units, well, then it takes longer to kill those units, right? It takes longer to take out 100 enemy units when you're overkilling with 50 units against 5 units or whatever. It'll take quite a while to get through that. What's the issue? Well, with Order of the Dragon, you have less units, they're stronger, but what's the issue? The game already has inherent passive overkill mechanics, okay? So the Order of the Dragon, other civs can field, right, in this example I'm making, 100 units. Well, Order of the Dragon can only do like 50. Okay, well now how much faster is it going to be to clear through an Order of the Dragon army when you're overkilling 5 units at a time compared to, out of 50 units, compared to 5 units at a time out of 100 units. So the point's making sense, right? That's the issue with Order of the Dragon. The game inherently counters Order of the Dragon. Order of the Dragon, though, is tons of fun. They're very tanky and strong early game. You can clear through an enemy player early game very quick because of how strong and tanky their units are just out the gate. It's just when you get into late game, that's where they start to get creamed everywhere they go. You're going to be feeling terrible. You're like, man, I don't have a big army. Oh my gosh, my units are dead already. But there's tons of things still fun about them. It's just huge trade-offs, and they're trying to buff them. They're trying to make them better. It's just difficult, right? The developers don't want to make them busted, right? You don't want to make these guys super units, and they just blast through the enemy lines. So there's little things like that. They're still fun to play, and they're trying their best to make them as viable as possible against the other variant civs and all that. It's just a mixture. It's a give and take. Anyway, if you picked up the base game, yes, the DLC, man, is absolutely worth your time.